guys, it's me Dominique from Dominique's Diary. Thank you so much for checking out my channel and checking out today's video. As titled, we're going to be talking about what things went wrong on our wedding day. So if this is something that you think you might enjoy, if you're planning your wedding or you're just interested in watching wedding videos, then stick around and here we go. Before we start, I want to just mention that me and my husband Thomas had an amazing wedding. The things that went wrong could have been avoided. Also, it means that anyone that is planning a wedding to just think about these things, because there are so many different things that can go wrong on your wedding day, and this is not to have a dig at anybody because this has all been resolved, but I just thought I would do a YouTube video. We're a year on now from our wedding day, and if anyone is planning a wedding, then these are just some things to look out for, just to make sure you know, you are paying for a service, that you get the service that you paid for. So one of the things that went wrong on our wedding day, which was really important to me, was the seating plan for the ceremony. Of the morning, I wrote down, I gave a written down seating plan for the front two rows at our wedding, on my side and my husband's side. The front row was to be parents, grandparents, and then our best men and bridesmaids, maids of honours. Second row was then groomsmen and bridesmaids, and then immediate family, like our witnesses. These were messed up. They put it out wrong, which meant that my mother and my father were furthest away from the aisle, which, as anyone would know, your parents are in the aisle. Of course, the people that set it out wouldn't know who the family members are by name. However, they were given a written down drawing of the seating plan, like the aisle and the seats, and got it wrong. This meant that it took away from me getting down to the end of the aisle and focusing completely on my husband, because I was immediately drawn to the fact that my mother is all the way down at the end of the chairs, and she should not be down there, she should be right here next to me. So that came up in the photos of me like pointing, saying swap, swap, like this is like all off. There was no way I was going to go through the ceremony with my mum all the way down there, because she is one of the most important people in my life and she needs to be right by my side. So make sure that that is checked and double checked. If that means that one of your bridesmaids or the groomsmen have to go and check the seating plan, make sure they check it. The decor. I had a lovely lengthy phone call with the decor team, and some things were just not right. I don't know where the miscommunication happened, but there were details, and they were only minor details, but these are not the details that I chose. Things were missing, like mood lighting by our sweetheart table, but one thing we were completely missing was part of our backdrop. Now, we had a flower wall behind us where we sat. The flower wall that I requested was supposed to be all cream. They changed it to cream or white and green foliage, which was great because it fitted in with our theme. However, I would have liked to have been told that it was going to be changed. And then there was supposed to be draping as well. The draping was not there at all. So I'm not too sure what happened to the draping, why it wasn't there, but it was not included on the day. So unfortunately that was missed. Another thing that you will need your bridesmaids and or groomsmen or even parents to check is the table seating plan for the wedding breakfast. I had a whole list and I had checked that list of the morning. My tables were by names and they were by our pets, our past and present pets. So there was like, it wasn't table 1, 2, 3, it was Gadget's table, Bernard's table, Gizmo's table, so on and so forth. They had mixed it up completely. Again, just like with the seating plan, our immediate family, our parents and grandparents, were all the way the other side of the room, when really they should be right near us. So it was really difficult to gauge where this miscommunication was happening. So just before you go in and actually get married, just before you go in and sit down for your wedding breakfast, make sure that someone checks these final details. If they don't mean anything to you, then that's absolutely fine, but to me and my husband, this was very important for us. So for you, if you are thinking that this is important for you, make sure it's checked before you go into the room and everything is correct. One thing that really went wrong, which really was quite upsetting, was because of everything with COVID, we had a lot of different people that we spoke to with regards to our wedding. Every time the information was passed over to someone else, information was missing. More notably, the fact that our wedding numbers had increased. So all the way up to the evening before our wedding, that information kept getting wrong. To the point where we had an email 2 days prior to the wedding saying that we cannot feed 30 of your guests because you have increased the numbers and not told us, which is a lie, because we paid for an extra 30. So make sure that all the information is checked and double checked, because at 8 p.m. the evening before our wedding, I was crying my eyes out because information was incorrect, and I was worried that 30 of my guests the next day would not get fed. So this is probably a 1 in 1,000 chance that this could happen to anybody, but it can happen, and it does happen where information gets lost. Just make sure that you go over with a fine-tooth comb every aspect of your day, because things can get lost. And if someone wants to call you a bridezilla for that, so be it. But you need to make sure that your day goes perfectly so that it's not taken away from the special, you know, the special aura that comes with your day. Little things like the cake stand being missing after being asked the morning of the wedding whether we wanted one, and we said yes, and then they didn't provide one for us. Information that's in your agreement that you've paid for. You know, we paid for, as part of our package, that we would have a drink that would be handed out to everyone as soon as the ceremony finished, and that didn't happen. We didn't have enough bar staff as well, and we were also told that a second bar would be opened, and the second bar wasn't open. So these key elements that you've agreed, you've paid for these packages, you've paid for this service, make sure that this happens. And if this does not happen, you are more than entitled to make a complaint. A couple of other minor things that went wrong was my tiara wasn't put in properly. So when I kissed my husband or when I laughed, my tiara flopped backwards, which was quite embarrassing. My hair wasn't how I wanted it to be. Don't get me wrong, my hair looked beautiful, but I had drama with it on the morning. It wasn't sitting the way I wanted the kind of fringe to sit. My hair, when I changed my dress of the evening, didn't go the way I wanted it as well. So that was just like a quick change. Little things like that happened as well. One piece of advice that I would definitely say is to make sure you and your bridesmaids get into your dress as early as you can, because the time goes like that. We were at the 1.5 hour mark prior to the ceremony, thinking we got plenty of time, and it went by so quickly that I was only getting into my dress half an hour before we were getting married. I had to open my gifts from my husband to be. I had to have my interview with the registrar. I had to do my first look with my dad. I didn't get any posed photos with my mother and my bridesmaids whilst I was getting ready because I was rushing. Make sure that you leave enough time, because that is one thing that I really wish I would have done, but we completely ran out of time. You've got to be really particular about your timing. Have a checklist. Have someone make sure that everything happens as well. If you're really laid back and you don't care, then, you know, you're really laid back and you don't care. But some people have everything they want to be done. A wedding planner will help you with that as well. Our wedding planner, bless her heart, was all across the place, so I really felt sorry for her. But yeah, make sure that you get into your dress as early as you can so that you can get those post photos. You can just relax a little bit before you get married. I didn't have that at all. It was far too stressful. If I could go back and do it again, I would. And I would definitely get in my dress at least 2 hours before I had to walk down the aisle. So guys, I hope you liked today's video. It's short and sweet, but this is what happened on our day. Nothing really major, didn't ruin the day. And again, as I said, all the negatives that happened were completely settled where it came with the venue. But you know, as I said, you pay for a service, you expect that service. But have a checklist, a to-do list, delegate tasks out to parents, to bridesmaids, to groomsmen, anyone but yourself and your partner when you're getting married, because you have enough to deal with on that day. It's your special day between you and the person that you're marrying. So make sure that any tasks like that you can just push to someone else and they can deal with it. And if they really have to come and talk to you, then they can. But we didn't know about a lot of these things until afterwards. There were things that I took note of throughout the day and be like, okay, so that's not how I booked it, or that's wrong. But when you look at it as a whole, it was like, wow, quite a lot of things, you know, weren't really how it should have been. So that is everything that went a little bit wrong on our wedding day. I will have a video about what the best parts of our wedding day was, so you can watch that as well. There are some positives to our wedding. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.